Today we're going to start to make dog's dinner. Once you've logged into Google CS, click on the blue plus sign and you're going to create a new project. Once Scratch opens, at the top of the project, you are going to name it Dog's Dinner. So you want to scroll up to the top of the screen. So right up here where it says Untitled, let's name it Dog's Dinner. This game is a platform game. It is complicated, so you're going to have to check your work at each step. The first thing we're going to do is make a player, which is just a red square. So you're going to get rid of the cat, and on the scratch where you get to choose a sprite, click on the paintbrush symbol, and you're just going to make a square. So we're going to make this square red, so I'm going to change the fill color to red. Click on the square shape tool. And what I want is, I want it to be an even square. I want it to be 35 by 35. So I'm going to hold the shift key down, because when I do that, it just allows me to make a square. And what I can see in here is down at the bottom, it is 28 by 28. So I want it to be about 35 by 35. So I'm going to hold that shift key down again, just drag out a little further. Drag out a little further till I get about 35. So I'm close. Rename this sprite player block. So over on where the sprites, where it says the name, we're going to type in player block. Now we're going to add a single platform. So once again, we are going to go back to the cat, the sprite, make sure we're in paintbrush, and now we have a new sprite that we're going to build. What you're going to do is use the rectangular to draw a platform. Make it a different color than your sprite. I'm going to make it blue. So along the bottom, I'm going to draw a platform from one end to the other. And then I'm going to put 2 obstacles on top of the platform. So I'm basically just making 2 squares on top of the platform. And this one, sprite, we're going to rename it platforms. Next, you want to drag your sprite into the middle between the 2 platforms, obstacles, but not landing on the platform. So what we need now to code this, so this player block is going to be able to run around when you use the arrow keys, and it also cannot be able to run through the obstacles. So to make this easier, we are going to make our own block. So we're going to go to My Blocks. We're going to click Make a Block, and we're going to name the block Run Controls. And then you just simply need to press OK. The new block now appears under My Blocks. And it is a special define header block that appears in the code right here. So it will let us define this. Now we need to create some variables. So in the variables section, we are going to create variables for all sprites. So we're going to do make a variable, and we're going to call it run speed. We want to uncheck the box, because see, when it's checked, it appears on our stage. We don't want it to appear on the stage. So we will uncheck the box and then it will appear. We're going to build a code under the define header. So anywhere we use the run controls block, Scratch will now run this code. Let's build the code. So what we're going to do now is create a function of run controls. So anytime that we use this, it is going to control your player and allow your player to move back and forth. And it's going to be a complicated algorithm. So instead of having to use it every time, the lengthy algorithm, we're going to use the function run controls. So we're going to go to the control and we need an if then. And then we're going to go to sensing, because if we are sensing that we are touching, sorry, not sensing, sensing, key, and the key is the right arrow key. That's the key that we want to press. If the right arrow key is pressed, then we go back to motion and we are going to find change X, okay? So change X means it's changing the way we're moving across. So this way, now we're going to go to our variable and we're going to change X by whatever the run speed is. Now, we need to build something so when our player touches the platform, it doesn't run through the platform. So we need another if-then statement to put inside of our if. So if is touching the platforms. So I will go back to sensing and we are going to find touching, and we've already created our platform, so it should be a choice. So if it's touching at platforms, we want to change the speed. We want it to stop. So I'm going to go to the motion again and change speed. And then I need to go into my operators and find my variable, my operator that is the net minus operator, and put it inside for the number. Okay, so I'm going to change it 0 minus the run speed. So I have to go back to my variable that I made and put run speed inside of here. Now I need to build the exact same thing for the left arrow. So I'm going to go get my if then. I'm going to go into sensing and get the key, and this time make it the left arrow if the left arrow is pressed. Then I'm going to go into, excuse me, I'm going to go into the motion, and I'm going to the change by again. So I'm basically building the same thing for the left arrow. So I am changing once again, but this time with the left arrow, I'm changing, it's going to be the run speed is opposite. So this and this will be switched, the left and the right. So this time I'm going to now build my operator because you're going in the opposite direction. So I'm going to put 0 and then minus the variable for the run speed. Then I will grab another if control. And this time it's going to be touching the platforms. Because remember, these are opposites. You're going left for one, you're going right for other. So they behave, the controls that we're building, the code here, is they're behaving in the opposite way. So platforms are opposite way of moving for left and right. And so at the bottom, since this is the opposite, I will make it go to my variables and pick my run speed. So now that I have my crazy function, I'm going to build the simple algorithm that I need to call that function. So when the flag is clicked, we are going to set the run speed. So here I am setting my run speed, which is already part of your algorithm. I'm going to set it to 5. That's the speed I want it to go to. And then how I get this to go is I want it to keep going, so I'm going to say forever run controls.